What's going on, YouTube? R to the double E dash to the Z-O-N coming at you once again. And if you guys have seen the title, this isn't my usual type of video. It's not the usual material you guys expect from me. It's not a game review, game discussion, though I have a lot to discuss about games, especially stuff I've been playing lately and all that. That can wait. This is far more important. I can get to that later on. Like if you guys saw the title, I don't know how many of you guys know, but if you haven't heard the tragic story that's been happening, the famous YouTuber and Twitch streamer by the name of Etika. His real name, I should have gotten his real name before I started this video, but it's Desmond Amofa, I think it is. If I'm not mistaken, apologies to his friends and family if I butchered the last name, but I think as YouTubers we all know, or at least have an idea of who Etika is, or who, unfortunately who he was. This hit me kind of hard, man, because I don't know the guy. I never knew him, never met him, never had any interaction with him whatsoever. But I did, on occasion, watch his videos. I don't believe he's one of the people I'm subscribed to. I could be wrong about that. I don't think so, though. But I do know that I've watched plenty of his reactions to E3s and Nintendo Directs and all that in the past. And that was what really hit me about this, man. I was like, man, I remember 2 years ago I was watching, along with many other reactions, his reaction to this E3 or whatever, or this Nintendo Direct, and I'm like, damn, it's a year or two later, he's gone. That shit is crazy. Most of you know me through YouTube. I don't know, you don't know me closely or personally. Anytime the topic of death comes up, I don't react to it like most people. Most people can just absorb it. That shit happens every day, whatever. It always hits me a little harder. I don't know if it's because of my Christian beliefs or whatnot, but it's just a real shitty deal, man, when you hear about something like this, man. So for those of you who don't know, I'll briefly go through the story. Etika has had a history over the last year, I'd say, or this last year. He was kind of spiraling downward. He was very, very popular YouTuber. He had over 800,000 something followers or subscribers, both on YouTube and Twitch and Instagram Live, I believe. And he had his channel was on and popping. He was just soaring. He was just growing. And it's just one of those stories. Again, I'm not going to pretend to know all the details. I would never disrespect the dead like that or his family and friends, because I don't want to say something out of pocket, something out of character, or something that's just flat out incorrect. I'll tell you what I know and what I have heard and what I believe in my own understanding to be the case. If I'm wrong about that and somebody here is closer to the situation and sees this, and feel free to comment. Just don't kill the messenger, because I'm really just talking about what I've seen and what I know. I don't know the guy personally, and I'm not that close to the situation at all. But it's basically one of those cases of like when celebrity or fame just consumes the person and destroys their fucking life, man. And throughout that time, over the last year, he had been showing signs and different occasions where he displayed behavior that showed that there was something wrong, with him, mentally. And again, I don't say that as an insult. Mental illness is a real thing. But he just showed escalating levels of that over the last year. He was posting some real cryptic, real dark stuff that had family and friends concerned. So they sent the cops to do a wellness check on him. They had to come in there with shields and everything and basically not break the door down, but get in the apartment, restrain him, tie him down, and take him to where he was ultimately committed to a mental institute. That's what I heard. If that is incorrect, again, I'm sorry. But things like that were happening, man. And then, fast forward to about a week ago, he goes missing. He, if I remember correctly, he had gone missing a couple times before, but turned up and everything was cool, everything was normal. But he went missing about a week ago, and I want to say it was June 20th, just a couple days ago, 12 a.m., 12 midnight, more or less. He posted a video. It was filmed during the day, but he posted a video called "I'm Sorry," and I think YouTube removed it, and I think it got re-uploaded. But basically, this was his goodbye note, man. This was like saying, "Hey, it's over. I'm done." And it was real jarring, man, because I was like, again, I didn't know the guy, but I had seen so many of his videos where he's all wild and reacting and all that, and even that could be a character, that doesn't necessarily is the real person. But from everybody who does know him, what I've heard is that was him. He was, full of life. He was, energetic and all that. And in this video, there was no acting, there was no character, there was no energy. You could see it in the eyes, man. Like I noticed it from the first couple seconds of the video. I was like, this dude is checking out. He has made his decision. You could see it. At least I saw it in that video clear as day. It was a goodbye. It was a goodbye. It was a suicide note in the form of a video. It was an apology to all the people he feels he's letting down. It was the acknowledgement that he didn't always feel suicidal, but he does now. He did at that point. He had finally gotten to the point where it was real. It was like there and it was prevalent. And man, you could just see it, man. I was like, and the fucked up part is, man, that I remember, man. I mean, and again, when I said this, I didn't say it in judgment or like, oh, I hope this happens. Of course not, man. But I saw some of the clips and videos of the previous incidents that led up to this, where he was kind of like showing that, you know, he was slipping. And I remember saying, I'm like, dude, if this guy doesn't get help, he's going to be dead soon. I didn't say that in judgment or anything. I said that in like just an observation, like, yo, this guy needs to get help. But then by his own admission in this last video, in the I'm Sorry video, he basically admits that he pushed away everybody to the point where he felt like now like he had nobody. And that's the other fucked up part, man, is that I know, dude, what it's like where and a lot of us do, man. A lot of us have come to that point in life, whether we were right or we were wrong, but where we felt and we believed that we had nobody, that we were alone. And that's a very, very dark place. That's a very scary place. It's a very hard place to overcome, and there's a lot of people who don't overcome it. And unfortunately, it looks like he didn't. But yeah, he goes missing. He makes that video. He posts it. After that video goes up, family and friends, or I think even days before, when they couldn't find him, and he had been missing for like 48 hours from that, they started sending the cops out to look for him and all that. Cops find a lot of his personal belongings on the side of the Manhattan Bridge, which is 130-something feet up off the water. You know, his Nintendo Switch, which he loved, was there. His wallet, his ID, his laptop bag that had, I think, some boxers and a shirt in it were all there. There was no trace of him. He was gone. And then, you know, I think it was a day or two later, earlier today or yesterday, I'm not really sure on the actual timing of all this, but a couple, you know, 24 hours or so later, they find a black male deceased floating in the East River, about 1.5 miles or so, half a mile, I forgot. I don't know if it was a half a mile or 1.5 miles, but that's irrelevant, down the East River, which the Manhattan Bridge overlooks. And, you know, after the cops got there, pulled him out, and, you know, I guess family ID'd him, and it was him, you know, so it looks like he jumped and took himself out, you know, and it's a real shitty deal, man. When you think about, you know, a young man, dude was 29. I'm 6 to 7 years older than this guy, you know, and he had all the fame, he had all the popularity, but none of that shit matters, man, when the person is suffering. So, you know, it's real shitty that happened, man. And I'll tell you something else, and I'm not gonna spend too much time on this particular topic, or this part that I'm about to say, because those fucking scumbags don't deserve the fucking time of day. But while I was looking for this, because the way I found out about this was I'm in my car on my lunch break today, and I'm playing NBA 2K19 on the Switch, which I got something to say about that game in another video, whatever, fuck that. And I'm playing, and at the same time I'm listening to YouTube videos on my phone right there, and I see one from Obi-Wan Plays, who was someone that I am subscribed to, and I do follow his videos. I watch pretty much all of them. And it says, "Rest in peace, Etika." It has a picture of Etika holding his Switch with the same Joy-Cons that I have now, the yellow ones. And I'm like, hold up. You know, you never really know anybody, but I feel like the people I'm subscribed to, even though they may be putting on an ad, it's a character or whatever, I feel like you know, at least a good deal about them, especially if you follow them and go through a year or two watching their content. And I was like, Obi-Wan Plays doesn't strike me as the kind of dude that will make a joke about this, right? So I click on the video and I watch it. And it's a live stream of Etika and him back in the day. Well, first of all, it's Etika talking about how Obi-Wan Plays reminds him of himself and he loves his channel, da-da-da-da. And then you see the two of them. They're boys. They're hanging out, live streaming together, having fun, joking, da-da-da-da. And I read the comments, and it's Obi-Wan saying, just trying to show some of the positive vibes that Etika brought into my life. You'll be missed, dude. And I was like, oh, shit, this is real. So then I started to look it up, and when I looked it up, that's when I saw the whole story, and I was like, fuck, man. But what I was saying is, these motherfuckers, man, that I go to look it up, and I see a video, okay, Etika found dead. I'm like, oh, shit, what the fuck happened? Click on it, and it's motherfuckers celebrating and laughing, having a party because this dude is gone, Man, y'all motherfuckers are less than scum, man. Humans are some of the shittiest creatures on the planet, believe me, I know this, but man, y'all take it to a whole nother level, man. Like, you're soulless, man. Actually celebrating the fact that one of your peers, somebody who could have been your brother, could have been your kid, fucking killed himself. There's a special place, man, for y'all. Man, there's a special place for y'all. It's hot in the motherfucker, too. But, man, it's just real tough, man. I look at it and I'm like, fuck, man. And you know, on the topic of mental health, I know it's a real thing. Don't get me wrong. I have a friend, my best friend, suffers from anxiety to the point where he can't drive. He can't drive. I live out on Homestead. He lives like in the heart of Kendall. He's been out here once when his wife drove him. He can't deal with driving distance because he freaks out. He gets panic attacks. I'll never understand that. By God's grace, I don't suffer from that, so I'll never understand it. But I do acknowledge it's a real thing. And the thing was that apparently he was not being cooperative. You know, he was blocking people that were close to him. He was pushing them away. He wasn't taking the help. And I say this, and I know I might get some backlash for this. No offense, I don't care, because it's my own personal life experience and my own belief. I'm not somebody that believes in therapy. I don't. However, that does not mean that I don't think it can't work for people. For me, and maybe there, God forbid, but maybe there will be something that happens in my life that I actually have to go to therapy, and then it's like, oh shit, this is why it exists. But for me, I have always been somebody that, man, just talking to myself alone in the car or in the shower, just getting it out. I don't give a fuck if people think I'm crazy. I'll be driving, I'll be talking to myself, I'll be having a full-blown conversation with myself. That's how I get shit out. This right here, YouTube. Y'all have heard me say before, I don't do YouTube to make a following. You see, I have less than 300 subscribers. I don't care. I don't do this for subscribers. I don't do this to get momentum. I do this as it's an outlet for me. It's another form of therapy. But that whole, you know, paying hundreds of dollars to sit down for an hour with somebody to tell them your problem, I don't believe in that. But that does not mean that it could be beneficial for someone else who does believe in it, you know? And my whole thing by saying that is, like, again, I don't believe in it, but others do. Who gives a shit if I don't believe in it, man? If you feel you need it, you need to go get it, man. You need to go get it, man, because the alternative is what we see now. You know, it's fucked up, man. It's really fucked up. You know, to his friends, his family, man, his mother, if she's around, I don't know. I don't really know the guy. Man, you know, my prayers are with y'all, man. It really, really sucks, man. It's a real, real tragic thing, man. And like I said, for the fucking scumbags that are, you know, trolling and celebrating, there's a special place for y'all, man. You think you want to go, but you may be there. But yeah, man, to his family, man, my thoughts, my prayers are with you guys. It's a real, real fucked up deal, man. Man, that video, I watched it, and he just seemed like he had already made the decision. Like there was no turning back. That was the tone I got. Like, he was just like, he was talking about his life like in the past tense. Like, you know, it's a shame that my life had to get cut so short. It's like shit, man, like you're settled on this, man. And then it's sad to think for me, man. It's sad and it's harrowing to think for me that, like, you know, he does that video, you know, cuts it off and then uploads it, and then he's by himself, you know, on the bridge. It's fucked up, man. Anyways, man, that's enough about this, man. Again, man, it's just, man, there's so many lessons you can learn from this, man. Stop being such fucking dicks to each other. You know, stop fucking, if somebody is acting out of pocket or whatever, instead of fucking ridiculing them and making fun of them, you know, ask if they need help or leave them the fuck alone. Because even that's better. Because you ridicule and shit, you're just adding fuel to the fire, man. You know, and there's a lot of people right now that are in some ways responsible for what happened because of the way they acted towards them. You know, you never know how bad someone's suffering, man. And I don't say that hypocritically. We all need to work on that. I need to work on that too. You know, I could be having a bad day, have a temper, and somebody acts a certain way, and I'll just fucking unleash on them because it's a way of getting all the stress out. It's wrong too. You know what I'm saying? But you know, those are lessons to learn, man. Treat each other with love, man. Or at the very least, don't treat each other at all. Just get the fuck, you know, leave them alone. Don't fucking be piling on to whatever shit they got going on. You know, and also for the people going through shit like that, don't do what he did. Seek the help. Anyways, man, it's Reezonz. God bless y'all. Stay gaming. Peace.